and welcome to the greatest podcast in the universe. If WWE can do it, I can too. This is the greatest podcast about wrestling in Central Illinois. Period.
Exactly. Well, Kayfabe News, they posted a funny story that said WWE now adding greatest to all their pay-per-view names. I thought that was funny.
The greatest Backlash.
Yes. The greatest Extreme Rules, the greatest Survivor Series.
The just okay Money in the Bank.
Yeah, the just okay Money in the Bank. That's funny. So everybody, welcome to another episode of the show, and we were here today. Probably have an extra long episode today. I have one that's a little longer because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Our reactions to the greatest Royal Rumble, the recaps for the Raw and SmackDown this week, and then of course already we have another pay-per-view. We have Backlash on Sunday, so we will be doing predictions for that as well. So a lot to unpack, but first of all, I checked Twitter about 45 minutes ago and saw that Chris Jericho returned to New Japan Wrestling, attacking Naito again with the bell, with the ringside bell. So it appears his story has not fully been told in New Japan. So that's really cool because watched an interview with him a couple days before the Greatest Royal Rumble, and he was like, like, oh yeah, we just did that to kind of get me some heat on the way out and stuff like that. There's nothing planned yet, and so I don't know if that was just to throw people off the scent, or if hearing that they were like, hey, we have some really cool ideas, come back and attack Naito again, or whatever the deal was. But it's cool to see that he will, continue on there in some capacity, and so I think him and Naito would be a really cool match to do, and then hopefully if they could do him and Okada, that would be really cool, and him and Ibushi, that would be really cool. So I'm really excited to see where that might lead. I'm really interested in following that storyline. So, wait, did you see that too? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It seemed like they weren't able to get a deal until now, and that's all right. I think if Jericho wants to continue wrestling, he can wrestle forever. First of all, second of all, he is the king of reinvention,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of those steps that will reinvent him as a wrestler. He's going back to one of his, basically his first loves, if you will, going back to Japan and enjoying that. So I don't know. I could see him retiring from New Japan. I could see him, saying, you know what, I'm done with wrestling. I went back to Japan since I wrestled there for so long, and I think it'd be really really cool to see him. I think it'd be cool to see him become champion. Some form, maybe not necessarily whatever their heavyweight championship's called, but it would be really cool to see him continue in a bigger capacity than just a one or two off match. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool. I enjoy. I'm glad he's getting ready to go back and do that stuff. So yeah.
Indeed, really cool. So all right, well, just jump right into the thing. If there's nothing else, anything else you want to share with the class?
Nope, because everything else is rumor and speculation, and a lot of rumor and speculation leads to nowhere. So
That's true. It's like Ozzy said, the road to nowhere. All right, cool. Well, we will go ahead and jump right into the greatest Royal Rumble, coming to you live and loud from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, in the King Abdullah Sports City Stadium. They had to say that as many times as possible. Had to get that sweet Saudi money. So, go to the first match on the card. Couldn't believe this was the first match. It's crazy. But Jeremy, first match on the card we had was John Cena versus Triple H to open the greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. What did you think of this match?
very classic. I'm very glad they put it first, because what comes afterwards, not everything was great on the card, but this set the tone for me. Like, I wanted to continue to watch to see if since John Cena and Triple H, who are getting up there in age, can actually put on basically a clinic. People should watch this and be like, this is how you're safe. This is how you can actually put on a good match. This is how you can emote. This is how you can do whatever. It was a very good singles match. I really enjoyed it. There's nothing like that stands out to me outside of the finish. I like the AA into the slingshot into another AA. I like that finish. But other than that, it was a good match. Solid match. What do you think?
I liked it a lot too. Like you said, it was very old school. It was very classic. Like, and I really liked that. Like, and they said like, this match was reminiscent of, the late great Bruno Sammartino or something like that. It had like a really old school feel, and I really liked it. Like, it was just, didn't have to, they didn't have to worry about getting their stuff in, about, doing every single move in their moveset. They didn't, worry about telling a complete story. Like, there's enough storyline unsaid between them too that, they didn't really have to do much. And just, yeah, they told a great story just like in the ring with what they were doing. Like, it was just a match that was thrown together, and then they just told a good enough story. They didn't have to like, make a whole video package of them like, talking crap on Twitter or whatever before this match or anything like that. But yeah, it was really good. It was like you said, very old school, and I dug that. Like, but it wasn't boring old school. Like, it was very, very Ric Flair versus Wahoo McDaniel, very, Bruno Sammartino, versus Ivan Volkov or whatever. Like, it did kind of have that really cool old school feel, and I really dug that, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a really good show opener. It was good to set the tone to be like, all right, cool. Like, so yeah, I really enjoyed it as well.
Very nice. The second match we have on the card is the Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Caleb, your thoughts?
Very enjoyable, like a very change, like a good change of pace, a good contrast to the previous match. This was basically a luchador match, and like you said, Kalisto brought his A game, and I was like, ooh, can't wait to watch it. And then I watched it, and I was like, wow, he wasn't lying. Like,
yeah,
Kalisto was on point, and Cedric Alexander is just phenomenal. And so I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It's one that I'd like. There's several matches on here I'd actually really like to go back and rewatch. Actually,
yeah.
And this honestly is one. I really enjoyed it. Nothing like, it wasn't like a 5-star, and it wasn't just like out of nowhere. Like, I've never seen a match like this before. Wow, like, it was just really good. It was just really well done, and so I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. It was a little over 10 minutes, and to be honest, Kalisto, when he's on, he is one of the best high flyers out there. There are only a couple Kalisto matches that I can think of that I'm just like, that was a really good match. The chairs match with Baron Corbin a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The match he had with Gulak this week on 205 Live was pretty good as well. And so when he's on, he is amazing. And he had a great partner with Cedric Alexander. I did fear for Kalisto's life with that dropkick. I thought his face was broken off.
Yeah,
that was a killer dropkick.
Yeah, it was.
But there were some really good moves. There was a really good spinning DDT by Kalisto. There was a really good the springboard Spanish Fly was innovative, or it's new, neat to watch. So yeah, Kalisto was on. Cedric Alexander absolutely needed to win this match. It was very entertaining. Might be my favorite match of the night outside of the Rumble itself. It was a great match. Those two are some of the best wrestlers we have on the card. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Especially that drop kick. Whoo!
Yeah,
such an awesome drop kick. I remember I texted you. I was just like, dude, concussion city right there. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm not 100% sure he didn't get like fully concussed from that. So all right, cool. Well, moving on. Now we have
the Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the vacant WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. Caleb, your thoughts?
wonderful. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I'm really enjoying and really still intrigued by the Bray Matt storyline. I cannot wait to see where it leads and what happens. I think it would be interesting if that was moved into the Universal title feud, around sometime. I think that would be very interesting to see.
Post-Rock.
Yeah. I think that would be really interesting to see this feud kind of blow off of that or whatever is gonna happen. But I enjoyed it. I'm glad that Matt and Bray are the champions. I'm really happy for that, and I just love their whole dynamic, the yin and the yang kind of thing. How on Raw this week, they did the thing backstage where he was just like, the light, and then it gets black and he's like, the darkness, and then they're like, and they're like, stuff like so I kind of like their whole dynamic and stuff like of that their team chemistry and the match was really good. I enjoyed it, and so yeah, it was just a fun match. I just liked it.
Yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with it. I am glad Bray and Matt are champions. Matt on Twitter, his kids are so adorable. And to see King Maxwell with the belt on and bouncing around, it's fun. It's good to see that kind of thing. I am interested in, even though I like the promo they did on Raw, I don't understand why Bray is still dark.
Mhm.
If he has been reincarnated, why is he still dark? That's what needs to be answered for me in this whole thing. But as far as it goes, they absolutely need to be tag team champions. Cesaro and Sheamus, I'm glad they're on SmackDown. I can't wait for them to do more stuff on SmackDown. They're such a great tag team. Yeah, it was a fine match. It was nothing wrong with it at all.
All right. Well, now we have from the broken one to the woken one to the extreme one, Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal for the United States Championship. Jeremy, what did you think of this here match?
This was the worst match on the card. Jinder sucks.
Yeah,
He could not hang with Jeff, and it's not Jeff's fault. Jeff
it
tried his
wasn't.
best. I'm glad Jeff won. I think Jeff needs to hold the U.S. Championship for a while. I'm fine with him feuding with Randy and
100%.
And Shelton Benjamin. I think that's a great feud set right now, and so that set of feud, those three guys could feud for a couple pay-per-views, and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Excuse me, I got gunk in my throat, trying to get rid of. But yeah, this was a stinker. I'm glad it was only 6 minutes. It was all Jinder's fault. Jinder wasn't bad on Raw this week, but
yeah.
Jinder was not prepared for this match, and to have Jinder versus Jeff, it was a bad match, bad setup, bad set. They clashed, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I feel that same kind of way. This was totally just a pee break match, like it, which is sad to say because like even though he's not the greatest in the ring, Jinder seems like a nice guy, like out of character and all that. And so like I hate saying bad stuff about people. It was just like he doesn't seem like a bad guy, but in the ring he needs to get better. And then there's always the people like, hey man, like you've never taken a bump in your life. Who are you to say? It's like, whoa, calm down. Okay, but like so yeah, like it's just. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Is he just really couldn't hang with Jeff, and yeah, like AJ, and him had a pretty decent match, but
that's AJ.
For whatever reason, like these two styles didn't just mesh well at all. And as good as Jeff is, like there are some people who just can disguise the other person's failings better. And Jeff isn't the type of guy who's like, hey, I'll carry you through. He's the type of guy who's just like, hey, I'm gonna do me, you do you. Like he's not the kind of guy, somebody who's like AJ who can make the other person look like $1,000,000. He's just more concerned with hey man, you do your thing,
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was it was not good. And then the kick that missed, but he sold it anyway. I facepalmed and groaned so hard when that happened. I was just like, ugh, like, really? It was pretty cringy. And but it's in the past now. Don't have to watch it ever again.
Yep.
Yeah. So and yeah, I agree. Jeff as United States champion is the right call. I feel the same way. He should hold it for a long time. Don't know why they're not having Roman Reigns feud with a heel like Jinder, because that's what Chris Jericho said would take to get him over. He's like, don't put him with a cool heel like Samoa Joe that people like. Put him with, a heel who can get massive heat on themselves, and people love to boo. And then when I saw, Jinder and all the other guys come out against Roman, the other day on Raw, I was just like, why not put him up against Jinder? Put Roman up against Jinder. Like that might do a lot better job. But anyways. So yeah, it was a stinker. It was the worst match of the night, but thankfully it was only 6 minutes long, so it wasn't like an absolute like travesty to sit through. But it was pretty cruddy though.
All right, next match we have is the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Caleb, your thoughts?
It existed. Nothing really bad, nothing really good. It just was there to make the Bludgeon Brothers look a lot bigger, and you know, yeah, it was kind of just a necessary stepping stone, to put them over as even bigger, as the big bad guy. So, like I said, nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't, anything to write home about either. But so,
I agree, and they couldn't. It was a squash match. They couldn't have Naomi come out.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do any more from that. They didn't do anything this week with the Bludgeon Brothers or Naomi or the Usos. So I'm interested in seeing if something else happens with it. But yeah, it was just a squash match. It was this match with Jeff Hardy and Jinder is, like you said, it was the poop break, whatever.
Yeah.
The break, the 11 minutes where you could do whatever you wanted to. So yeah, I agree. All right, next match is it my turn.
It's my turn.
Okay.
It's my turn to say. All right, cool.
Sorry.
All right, so now we have was probably my favorite match of the night was the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Seth Rollins, the champion, versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz. Jeremy, what did you think?
Yeah, this is my second favorite, just because I do have a special place for the cruiserweights in my heart. So this is my second favorite. It was a really good match. I loved the ending. I loved the jump by Seth.
Yes.
Onto the ladder. That was pretty rad. There wasn't anything like spectacular, but it was a good ladder match, a good Intercontinental Championship match, and each one of these guys are stars in their own right. The Miz is wearing some weird Naruto get-up going on for the last several weeks. I don't.
Yeah, like especially on SmackDown, he looked like a Naruto pirate or something.
I'm pretty sure that's probably where it's from, because it just like the eyes on top and everything. It just looked like a Naruto get-up. But that being said, each one of these guys are stars. They performed well in the match. Samoa Joe, just amazing. Everything was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this match. This the Rumble was probably my second favorite. This was easily my favorite. I love ladder matches. When done well, they're some of the most entertaining, if not the most entertaining match. This was no exception. This match was a lot of fun. Every guy had a chance to shine. Every guy. And it's good when they do stuff like that. Have a guy, get some good offense in and really showcase him and stuff like that, instead of, them all just teaming up and decimating Miz, and then he's out for most of them. And especially Samoa Joe, he was kind of the unsung MVP for this match, at least to me. Miz, even though Seth won and Finn looked like $1 million, I think Miz, in my opinion, was kind of the GOAT in this match. He was the real MVP. But like Samoa Joe, like the way he put the ladder in the corner and then the ladder fell down, and the way he didn't react, he just immediately threw Finn down on it. Like I was like, that was really like just little things like that little clever. Like he didn't just be like or kind of he just immediately threw him down on the ladder, and then when it fell down again, and he just picked it up and then hit the guy with it. Reminded me of in First Strike when Jackie Chan has the ladder and he's fighting guys with it. I thought that was cool. But yeah, it's just really good. A lot of fun. The ending, you're right, was really cool. I thought that was totally awesome. Like, as far as I'm concerned, Seth and Finn are both ninjas.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the jump, the way he did it without really rocking the ladder that much, and he didn't overshoot it, and he didn't, jack up his ankle, and didn't, yeah.
It was spot on.
It was amazing.
Yeah, he got like he didn't rock it or anything. And I mean, on the other side you had Finn, of course, as a counterbalance, but that's Finn. That dude is, even though he's jacked, the dude is small, and so he should have something should have happened, but he didn't. It was a great spot. Perfect.
It was. So yeah, 4.5 stars for me. Yeah, just throw that out there. Yeah, I really liked it.
Right on. All right, next match we got is AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Caleb, your thoughts?
I was disappointed in the outcome because I didn't know what was going to happen, but seeing where things are going now, I'm fine with it. And especially since the match up to that point had been really, really good, I'm also fine with that. So I was like, oh, that sucks that there's not a clear winner. I thought that was kind of dumb at the time, but like I was like, but the match was good, so at least there's that. Like I thought personally that it was better than their WrestleMania match, like because the WrestleMania match just got so overhyped, and then they didn't really deliver, and which I'm sure they were told like we're gonna stretch this out longer. Don't you don't want to play your trump card too early and do the 5-star classic in the first match, even though it's a freaking WrestleMania. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, the match was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It was way better. I love Shinsuke's new theme song. It's really awesome. My first thought when I heard his new theme song was like, oh, Japanese Limp Bizkit, cool. Like,
yep. That's exactly what I thought too.
That's awesome. We both thought the same thing.
But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
Like
I don't say that as a bad thing. Like I am Limp Bizkit's kind of a guilty pleasure. Like it's not good music, no, but they have some cool songs I like. And so yeah, I enjoyed it. It was really good. I'm really getting into the storyline. I'm really interested to see where it goes. At post Mania, I was kind of like, but seeing where it's going now, I've been fine with it and everything. And this match was really good. So.
Yep, I agree with everything you said. This is a lot better than, and the crazy thing, like you said, it ended in a double countout, but it was better than the WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was better. Like this build between the two, I've enjoyed, even though the arm to the groin is getting a little old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting tired of Shinsuke's face after the fact. His face this past week after the shot was just it was so crazy, diabolical. But the build between these two guys, I've really enjoyed every aspect of it. And this is one of those matches that, even though it ended in a double countout, it was really well done. I'm enjoying the storyline. I don't know how it's going to end.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting to see. But we do have a match with them at Backlash. It's a no DQ match, so we shall see what happens there. I'm hoping AJ Styles gets the hint and actually finally puts a cup on. I think it was WWE memes or something that was like tag AJ Styles in a picture of a cup. It's like, come on, AJ, let's get this. Something needs to happen. I don't know. Something needs to happen where he in this no DQ match, he has a cup on, and it's like, haha, I can't. You're not gonna hurt me that way. Like even if it's at the beginning of the match, he's turned around and Shinsuke pops him, and been like, nope, got something on, sorry, and then he takes it out, and then he gets hit again later on. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot better match than their match at WrestleMania. I actually liked the double count out myself.
Yeah, at the time I didn't, but
sure.
Now in hindsight,
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yep. So, agreed.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So, next match, of course, we have Rusev Day versus The Undertaker. Jeremy, what'd you think?
I thought this was way better than everybody else made it out to be. Everybody's like, oh, it was just whatever. I'm like, Undertaker looked better than he did at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost 10 minutes long. And none of that was Rusev really selling the Undertaker stuff. That's not what made it good. The Undertaker, even though he looked like he was out of breath, I think he needs to get some cardio going on.
Yeah.
I know he's a tall dude, but come on, man, let's figure this out. And I know you're probably only going to be around every once in a while. And this was kind of a special occasion where the Saudi government asked for you, and apparently Yokozuna and the Ultimate Warrior as well.
What?
Yeah, that was a whole thing. That when they were putting this thing together, the Saudi guy, I can't think of his name, not the king but the prince. Was like, we would like the Undertaker, we'd like Ultimate Warrior, and we'd like Yokozuna. And they were those two guys have passed, and so to appease them a little bit, that's why they brought the sumo wrestler in.
Okay.
At the Rumble.
Okay.
Which I thought he did pretty good. I thought he took a pretty good bump. So yeah, So Undertaker was one of those characters that were like, bring the Undertaker. I thought this was a really good match. Like I said, I I thought Undertaker looked pretty good for being of his age and not necessarily in wrestling um, shape, if you will. He's in better shape. I thought he was in better shape than he was at WrestleMania, and that was only a couple months away, or ago, or a month ago, or whatever. So yeah, I thought it was a solid match. Um, I'm interested in seeing where they go with Rusev Day, if they're going to break them up, if Lana's going to break them up, or what's going to happen. So yeah, I thought it was a good match. What about you?
I really liked it too. Like I was just like, wow. Like when it ended, I was like, okay, I don't feel like he buried. Even though he won, I don't feel like he buried Rusev. Like I didn't get that sense at all. Like otherwise, it would have just been like the Mania match. It would have just been 2 minutes long. But like, no, this was almost 10 minutes, and it was done really well. They each sold each other stuff. They did a good job of putting each other over in the ring and stuff. Well, but yeah, like Undertaker won. I didn't have a problem with it, and like I said, I didn't feel like he hindered or buried Rusev at all. And Rusev Day is so over. I don't even if they tried to bury him, I don't think the fans would let it happen. And yeah, I didn't understand why so many people hated it either. I was like I got on Twitter and like so many people were talking bad about it. And I was like, really? Like I liked it. Like I thought it was pretty well considering that it was just under 10 minutes and stuff like that. And it was a casket match, which, hasn't been done in a really long time.
Yep.
Like, I thought it was done really, really well. And I loved Aiden, like, holding it open and not letting Taker shut it, where he's like, nope, 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 nope. Like that whole aspect was funny.
Aiden did a good job in this match.
I really liked all that. Yeah, like I'm with you 100%. I totally don't get why everybody hated it. I thought it was really well done. Like I enjoyed it.
It was a good throwback to the good old days of the Undertaker being able to put on a couple of star matches and enjoying that aura around him. I think if I remember right, the commentators essentially made a comment as if Undertaker is an institution type comment.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me start thinking, there is no one in all of wrestling that is like the Undertaker. We have gone away. Like, even John Cena is not going to be like the Undertaker. The Undertaker has been wrestling for years upon years upon years. But he is that guy. He is that go-to guy. He is a company man. He is he is an institution. And once he's done with wrestling, there's not going to be an institution anymore. Like, John Cena is not going to be that guy. Roman Reigns is absolutely not going to be that guy. And it started making me think, because of wrestlers, coming and going from WWE, who is going to be that guy? Who's going to be there for? I'm trying to think. He was in the early '90s. Like, he's been wrestling since the '80s or whatever. But
yeah,
for early
'90s, he's been the Undertaker since the '90s. But yeah, he's been wrestling since like '85 or something.
So almost 30 years. Like almost 30 years, right? Is my math right? 90. If it was 90 to 2020, that's 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So almost in 2 years, that's 30 years of a character who's been an institution. We're not going to have a character in the WWE who's going to last 30 years. John Cena has not even come close to 30 years. It's been, what, 10, 15?
Yeah, 15, yeah.
I mean, that's half of Undertaker. He's not going to be staying around. And The Rock, he's off doing movies. He's never going to come back. I mean, he technically, he could have been The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody, I mean, Stone Cold possibly could have been that guy too, but he was just in too bad of shape to continue. But The Rock is still in good shape. He could come back and be that guy. But we don't have that Undertaker character guy who will be in wrestling for 30 plus years in WWE. So I have never been an Undertaker fan, quite honest with you. He wasn't my style of wrestling, but I respected him. I respected all that he's done, the stuff he did with Yokozuna and other stuff back in my day. I enjoyed, but my brother was a bigger fan than him, fan of him than I was. But right now, when Undertaker leaves, there's going to be a void, and you cannot fill it, and it's kind of sad, to be honest. Anyway, that's my Undertaker diatribe.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
All right, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. The last main match of the card. How long are you going to talk about this one? Like 20 minutes?
No, not that long at all. I don't have to go on a ridiculously long rant about this one.
All right, we have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Rage. I saw Reigns, Cage and Reigns. Roman Reigns in a steel cage match for the WWE Universal Championship. Caleb, your thoughts?
I actually really enjoyed this match. It was done really well. The ending, it was a cool spot, but the outcome is still annoying because it's just like, just make Roman champion already. Get that belt off of Brock. Just do that. Just get the belt off of Brock. And like I said, it was a cool spot, and I loved that. Like on Monday night, that everybody kept putting over the fact like, hey, Roman's feet hit the first. Like Brock Lesnar's back hit first, but he was still on the cage. Like Roman's feet hit the floor first. So I mean, he's kind of the Universal Champion actually. Like, and I love like Seth put that over, and Saxton and Cole were putting that over, and so like I at least like that aspect of it. But yeah, like it's just like, man, like the championship matches, there were no definitive winners. Like both of these were screwy finishes, and they happened, just a couple minutes apart from each other. They just had the Taker match in between them. But like I said, like this had a big fight feel. The fact that it was in a cage for some reason in this, giant, beautiful stadium, like the King Abdullah Sports Stadium, it's a beautiful looking stadium, and the way they had it dressed up, and the stage and the ramp, and the backdrop and everything looked cool. Like it was awesome. So like it just had this really big feel. Like this felt even more epic than WrestleMania did, honestly. And I was like, oof, like I'm getting goosebumps. Like, and like it was heavy hitting. It was really good. I enjoyed like climbing up on the cage and all the stuff they were doing with that. I enjoyed. But yeah, just the ending, it just kind of left me wanting more. And I'm not just like, oh, come on, I hate it. Like, I was just like, at least it was a good match. That being said, I would prefer a different outcome, but, they have something planned, I guess. They're going to do something. I don't know what, but, so yeah, like, the ending kind of has me scratching my head wondering what they're going to do. But it was a really good match, and I quite enjoyed it. So there's at least that silver lining to it. And I don't feel quite as just like, well, what now? Like, I'm just kind of like, I wonder where they're going. I'm not like angered and confused like I was after Mania. So yeah, that really good match, just kind of a head scratcher, has me wondering where they're going to go. But so, what about you?
The ending spot was really nice.
It was really cool. It was.
But they didn't think it through as much as they should have. There was no way Brock's feet were going to land on the floor. Like looking back and seeing that spot, I'm assuming they didn't practice it. I would assume they wouldn't practice it, but
yeah, the cage was held on with twist ties, with zip ties. Because when they busted through, like, and they played it in slow mo, you saw one flying through the air, and I was like, ha, fun.
Yeah, good job, WWE idiots.
Could have at least spray painted them silver.
That's the point. Absolutely. But I didn't hate the last spot. I don't like what they did afterwards and having the ref tweet, apparently, that he made the wrong call. I do like everything Seth said about it. Roman is the champion. You realize that, right? Like that was really clever and well done. I really want them from now on to make Roman lose every match. And I want him to lose, and I want Kurt Hawkins' first win to be against Roman Reigns. And I want Roman Reigns to turn heel after the fact.
That's pretty genius.
Because you tear him down, and Kurt Hawkins gets his first win in however many it's gonna be, and then you build Roman back up as a heel, and then you have kind of the reverse of Hogan Andre. You have the big man. I mean, even granted they're similar heights. You have the big man in Braun Strowman be the Universal Champion eventually. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to be a Universal Champion. I think he's going to beat Brock. That's my thought. And then after you beat Roman down so bad, he becomes heel, and he just destroys everyone. He goes to 205 Live, and he just destroys everybody.
Oh, that'd be
He goes
cool.
to NXT and just destroys everybody. And then eventually you bring up Aleister Black, and he doesn't even touch Aleister at NXT. He just tears everybody else up. And then in a couple WrestleManias. I think you'll have to take maybe a year or two, probably 2 years. At the very end, you have that reverse, like I said, the reverse Andre and Hogan, where Hogan is the smaller guy, he's the good guy, and Andre is the bad guy. You have the big guy, Braun, as the champion. He's the good guy, and the smaller, quote unquote, smaller guy in Reigns, and he's the heel. And then you get super heel heat for having him beat Braun. Like they're in a place where they can make Roman the best heel they've ever had.
Yeah, they
probably outside of Rock and Stone Cold was a heel for a relatively short time, really, and people loved him no matter what. So you have an opportunity here where they could just tear Roman down, and the crowd would love it.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd would love to see. I think the crowd would love to see Kurt Hawkins win over Roman. Like that would be so awesome, and then Roman just destroy him and just. And you can even bring in Authors of Pain on that same story.
Mm.
They could become his whatever. So anyway, sorry, just a little fantasy booking there.
No, that's amazing. That's
great.
That's genius.
I like the ending. I like the last spot. It was a good match up until then. It absolutely needed to be in the cage. I don't know where they're gonna go from here. We'll have to find out. All right. Well, that concludes the individual wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the greatest Royal Rumble ever.
Yes. And this one we'll just do kind of an open forum back and forth, talking about all kinds of stuff, since it was really long and tons of stuff happened. So, so yeah, just jumping off. Like, what were some cool things that you liked about it, like and stuff like that? Like any big returns that you really liked?
I liked Hornswoggle. I really did.
That was funny. It was weird that he didn't come out from under the ring, because that was like his gimmick. That was what he always did. Regardless, still funny.
The main thing I liked was Daniel Bryan was in it the whole time.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing about the whole match. He basically was the general of the ring. They made him the guy that called spots or whatever they needed to do. He was the general of that match, and it was perfect. His chest afterwards looked disgusting, but it was so awesome. And he only, just looking out here, he only eliminated 3 people.
Oh, wow.
And he was in there for over an hour and 16 minutes. I think Braun should have eliminated Daniel.
Very last.
Mm. There are reasons why, but I think it would have been better if he was last. Personally. My favorite, like I said, my favorite thing was Daniel Bryan being it the whole time. My second favorite thing was the fact that Tony Nese was in it. That all these other guys, I like the fact that the Tucker Knight from NXT was in it. I really like that tag team. Roderick Strong, and it was really, really good. We haven't seen enough of Babatunde and Dan Matha from NXT. And so those were kind of like, okay, fine, whatever. But obviously, we got to talk about. My brain's. Titus O'Neil slipping.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether that was real or not, we're not really quite sure. Whether he meant to do that or not, I should say. But apparently, I don't know if you heard what happened backstage.
Mm.
The rumor, the story from backstage was after Titus was eliminated, he went back, and Vince came over to him, and just like Vince loved it. That's the reason why they kept replaying it, because they missed it. Like the camera missed it. We didn't see it until they replayed it.
Yeah, because you just hear Corey dying laughing.
Yeah. Just like, first of all, Corey's response was the best. Secondly, Vince McMahon apparently could not stop laughing, and when he came back, he went to Titus, shook his hand, and just patted him on the back, and just was like, "Thank you," type thing.
Yeah, the shirt they made for him was great. Where it was like, rumble, stumble, or slide, just do it worldwide. Like, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. So that was really good. I liked the last. When Braun Strowman came in until the end was fantastic. Every one of those guys who came in, Ty Dillinger, Kurt Hawkins, when Bobby Lashley came in, the Great Khali, I'm glad he didn't last very long. He just can't move.
Yeah, he's too big.
the whole stuff with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon coming in and stuff. I thought that was really good. Shane getting thrown out was really cool.
Yeah.
All of this, all of the ending was fantastic, except for Big Cass. He I don't know if it's because he's too big or what, but he's not necessarily the most graceful guy, and so I don't know if he just needs to work on that or what. I know tag team stuff was good. I thought he was good in a tag team. Sad that they had to break them up, but looking back, it's better that they did that because I don't know that where he would be if that all stuff would happen now. So yeah, those were my favorite moments. I'm trying to think of what else, if there was anything else that I was like, yeah, that was pretty cool. You know, Rey Mysterio coming back a bit.
Yeah.
I thought his stuff in the ring was
I
really
liked
good.
his Green Power Ranger outfit. That was awesome.
I liked Elias, him eliminating the people that he did.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Oh yeah, he eliminated Kurt Angle. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, so I mean, I thought it was a really good Royal Rumble. It was, second, third. I mean, outside of this match, outside of the other two matches, this probably would have been my favorite match. I liked everything about it. There wasn't anything that was like, So anyway, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said, man. Like the Titus Worldwide thing, like the Titus slip was hilarious. Like it's just like if he did do it on purpose, he nailed it. But if it was an accident, he still nailed it because if he was just like a couple inches, forward and slipped, he probably would have dinged his head off the apron. If he was a couple inches to the left or right, he would have hit one of the stanchions underneath the ring. So it's just like either way, he had incredible grace and aim to do that. But yeah, it was great because you don't see him and then you just hear Corey dying laughing, and you could tell it was like genuine laughter, and stuff, and then Cole was dying too. Like Cole thought it was hilarious, and it was awesome. It was so funny.
The one piece of evidence that it might have been planted was the fact that there was no digital screen on the one side. But I don't think that's a good excuse for that to happen.
Yeah.
If there was a digital screen, he would have been broke. He would have broke it or broke his neck or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that was good enough
yeah.
evidence. But when you look at him, he looks like he actually did trip on his foot.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, you're good. And so yeah, it was one of those things where it's just like accident or not, it was hilarious. It's and I love that he's owning it and just going for the he's like, all right, awesome, have a moment, this is awesome, so that's cool. I love that whole aspect of it. But yeah, all the returns, man. Rey Mysterio coming back. I've always loved Rey Mysterio, so I'm glad that he came back. Chris Jericho being the 50th entrant, I thought was cool. That was awesome, and I love that they just immediately sold the hatred between him and Kevin Owens. I'm glad that they did that. That was really cool, and you're right, the Shane McMahon stuff was awesome. Braun, I think he eliminated the most people.
13.
13. Oh wow.
Because he has a record now.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Jeez. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. I liked Baron Corbin and Randy Orton's back and forth in the match. And I liked Randy Orton and Apollo's back and forth too. That was really good. And dude, they popped huge for Randy when he came. When his music hit, dude, they exploded. I was like, oh wow, apparently the Viper's big in Saudi Arabia and stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It's one that I would definitely like to go back and watch. I think with the actual Royal Rumble and with this one, I'm both of them are fantastic, and so I feel like it's kind of an embarrassment of riches. We're just we've been spoiled. We got 2 Royal Rumbles this year for the price of one, and both of them were fun. Both of them are really good. So yeah, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was great. Great show, and it was a great Royal Rumble, and the Braun winning, I was cool with that. Total right call in my book. Like I was kind of like, I don't know who should win, and I was like, my heart wanted Daniel Bryan to win. I thought that would have been really cool, but at the same time, Braun winning, is the right call too. So, and that trophy and that belt that he won as for those are really cool. Like especially that trophy, like with the swords and stuff on it. Like that was so cool. I'm like, oh, dude, lucky he gets to keep those, like forever now. Like I was like, that's so cool. I was like, yeah, you could probably get $10,000 and they'll probably sell replica trophies like that.
Yeah, it was a really cool trophy. I don't know that they're gonna go forward with the belt, but the belt was pretty cool too.
Oh, I thought the belt was just part of the trophy.
I did too, but everybody else was like, well, they're not gonna go forward with the belt, and I'm like, what does it matter?
Yeah,
Like,
I thought the belt was just part of the prize. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're gonna do this, every year, or if they're gonna come back to this, that would be the place that the belt would be
switched.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good.
I thought it would be just like kind of getting a ring for something.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, exactly. Like I thought it was just part of the trophy. Like it was just like you also get this belt as a consolation bra, kind of thing. like it's Price is Right or something.
You can keep instead of like I don't know if they'll keep if Braun will be able to keep the trophy or not, but
yeah.
So
yeah, I don't know if it's like the Stanley Cup where you just keep it for that year, and then the next person that wins it gets it next, or if they just make a new trophy every year, or what the deal is. But anyway, so greatest Royal Rumble, close it out as a whole. What grade would you give it? A letter grade.
I really liked a majority of the matches. I loved the Royal Rumble. Like you said, we were lucky and blessed in ways to have a second Royal Rumble. It's one of the better kind of matches that they put on. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a B plus, mostly because outside of the whole Jinder and Jeff Hardy match, everything else seemed to run smoothly, except for Titus. But I don't care. Titus made me laugh. He's okay. So everything worked out. Like I said, the last match, the Royal Rumble match itself was fantastic. So what about you? What grade would you give it?
Honestly, I give it an A. Like I'm going to low A, almost A minus, but still even though the Jinder match was awful, I was still entertained about how awful it was. So yeah, I wasn't bored at all watching it. I loved watching it. It was truly a spectacular sight to behold. Like I said, I just was just totally into the atmosphere. The crowd especially. This is one of the best crowds ever.
Mm-hmm.
They were into it, and it was cool seeing all these little boys and girls wearing Bailey shirts and Roman Reigns t-shirts and Randy Orton shirts and stuff like that. So it's cool to see wrestling really does have such a wide audience. It was crazy to see that, and just like I said, just that stadium looked spectacular and the way they had it dressed up and the lighting and the set and everything. I love all that stuff. Having a really cool big elaborate stage and set and everything. All that stuff I liked, and so I just got caught up in everything and I just absolutely enjoyed it. So yeah, it gets an A from me. I just loved every minute of it, except for that 6 minutes with Jinder. But even then, that was just ugh. so yeah, that's what I give. I had a great time.
All right. Well, I guess we can slip into the Monday Night Raw recap.
Indeed. So as we just said, Monday Night Raw. Jeremy, what did you think of this week's Monday Night Raw?
Two really good things. The main event was fantastic. It was a main event that could have been on Backlash or something like that, but they gave us a free main event, which was really well done. I think my favorite spot was the superplex into a Finn Balor Falcon Arrow. I thought that was pretty rad. I thought the ending was pretty good. I'm surprised. I don't know if they're gonna make Finn heel. He kind of had that heel thing earlier on in the night where he sling blades Seth, but he doesn't get up and do anything to Seth afterwards. So I don't know where they're going to leave with that. Another really great thing, in my opinion, I really, really, really liked Alexa Bliss's moment of bliss. That it's a teacup, it's a cup, you sit in it, that whole thing. I love that whole thing because you know that Nia's not that kind of person who's going to make fun of
Oh yeah.
Alexa. You know Alexa's the one making fun of Nia Jax. And so that dichotomy, that juxtaposition, I really, really like. And I just really, really like it. The moment of bliss. Yeah, perfect. I think it's great. I think it's really, really funny. Those are the two things that I really, really, really enjoyed. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm looking at the recap that Cage Side puts out, and I didn't see any of the most of the stuff. Um, I liked Natalia versus Mickie James.
Hmm.
I like where that's leading. I think it's a good story to put forth um, for Ronda. Good grief, for Ronda's first kind of feud set. I think that's a really good idea. The McIntyre Ziggler promo was okay. I do like the fact that they're like, we're gonna take the show. Like I like that. I didn't get to see the Baron Corbin No Way Jose stuff. I do like the Leader of the World's promo, but I want to see where that goes. I don't understand. Again, I don't understand why Bray is still dark. I get the concept of being the yin and yang, but why is Bray still dark? He shouldn't be after the incarnation, unless he's just always going to be dark, and now he's just fine. Like he's not evil, but he's just dark. I get that, but Occam and Razor, sorry, AOP. It's weird seeing them come out on Raw, but I'm okay with it. I'm saddened because the Revival has kind of lost their push, but I really do want to. I really do hope that AOP, Authors of Pain, do well, and their squash match was pretty good. Their promos were good, but it seemed like the first one. I always get them mixed up. The first one asked if it was his turn to speak. Did you hear that? Or
no, I didn't catch that.
Maybe I didn't hear it right, but as he's walking around, oh, it's my turn. All right. Maybe I missed that. Maybe I misheard it. But I like AOP as on Raw. I just hope they don't screw things up. It was a better Super Collider than they've ever done, in my opinion. I still don't like the move because the back smashing is dumb.
Like I said, it needs to be, if they're gonna do the colliding thing, like it needs to be power slams.
Yeah.
Not power bombs.
Yeah.
If they did the power slams, like that would be much better.
My other favorite thing that started with a not so good thing was when Sami and Kevin came out during the promo. I thought that was really well done. Sami and Zayn super over in their quote unquote hometown, in their home area, if you will. They did really well. I loved all of the French speaking throughout the night. I thought Seth was brilliant. The worst thing about the night was Roman Reigns coming out and not knowing what to say to a booing crowd. Montreal, very lively crowd. Obnoxious at times. They're not like Chicago.
Yeah, they're not like Chicago.
Chicago is just obnoxious
the whole time. And not like Brooklyn either. Like when they go to the Barclays for SummerSlam.
Unless it's NXT, and then they're okay.
Yeah.
But Montreal, I think WWE needs to start listening to towns like Montreal. And I say that because Montreal knows what it likes and knows what it hates. Places like Chicago and Brooklyn, they're gonna boo to boo. I even thought last night, or the night I watched Raw, when Roman came out, I'm just like, people just don't know what they're booing anymore.
Yeah.
They just do it to do it. But I think Montreal was right to do it, because it put Roman on his toes, and he failed horribly, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he just continued saying the same promo that he was saying. He didn't,
because he's not a heel.
Do anything. Yeah,
if he was a heel, I'm sure he would
have
have destroyed it. And that's WWE's fault. WWE's fault. It's not necessarily Roman's fault. Is he the best on the mic? No. But WWE has backed him in a corner in such that he cannot make a comment when Montreal is booing the snot out of him. WWE, listen to the crowd, especially with Roman. You're going to have to turn him heel in order to get these Whether they start cheering him afterwards, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They're booing him. Turn him heel. Let him give the heat that he could probably do. I almost have no doubt that him turning heel would allow him to open up in ways that we have never seen him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Montreal, big town. They're very, very lively. I like their response to the hometown heroes, and that's another thing. WWE just needs to make sure that they put the right people in the right places. They're just not always the greatest at that. I like the pop that they had with that. Other than that, I mean, like I said, the worst thing in my opinion was Roman Reigns not knowing what to do. And again, it's not necessarily his fault.
Yeah.
But he should have had. They should have had some inkling and some talking points for him when he goes out and everybody boos him, and not just keep with the script.
Mm-hmm.
It just
like
good.
Yeah, like they should have told him like, hey, if they start booing you, giving you crap, maybe say something like, yeah, at the Greatest Royal Rumble, I got screwed, and you know all about that, don't you, Montreal? Like, mention the screw job, like
That would have been perfect.
something like that, like to be like, oh yeah, why are we booing you? Yeah, we hate Vince, boo Vince, boo Vince, like, like something like that, like
I agree. I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, because Roman's just not that kind of character like Cena, who's just like, woo, lively crowd, ooh yeah, who you guys booing? Like,
Yeah.
like he's not that kind of character, so it's kind of weird if he would do it like that. But like in a way like that, like I said about the screwjob thing, that kind of is like, you know what I mean? So.
And he could have played off of that whole remember when Vince screwed you over.
Yeah.
And that would have got the heat off of him, like you said, but also would have gone back to the fight that they were having earlier. Like they should go back to Vince. I mean, I know Vince doesn't want to be on screen, and I get that, but they have something where he could go back to the whole hating Vince thing, and at least he'll get some kind of cheer out of that. I mean, he'll get some kind of positive response. Anyway, those were my thoughts about Raw. What were your thoughts about Raw?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, like all the French being throughout the night, I thought was cool. I like that. Seth especially impressed me.
Yep.
Yes, very good, very good, very good.
when Finn comes out and says my name is Finn Balor in French, like
Yeah.
I don't know any French, but I know that's what he said.
Yeah, it was just like,
I thought that was hilarious.
Je suis Finn Balor. Like,
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, like that was cool. And then like I love that when Sammy just came out, and he says like he just like started speaking non-stop in French. Yeah, like that whole segment was good, but yeah, like they needed to think it out better. Like oh yeah, it doesn't matter if these two guys are heels; they're from here. Like and like yeah, like I feel like they should have just done him and Jinder, and then had like Sammy and Kevin run out. And even though Sammy and Kevin were awesome on the mic, and they were hilarious, like just in terms of storytelling, like it would have done better for Roman to just square up with Jinder, and then to have Sammy and Kevin come out and attack them, and then they'd not say anything.
Sure.
But I enjoyed the whole beginning. I enjoyed it. And honestly, something I really did get a kick out of is when they were just boo, 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 and Roman's just kind of looking around, and I look at his face, and I'm like, he is trying so hard not to laugh. Like, they kind of like get a close up on his face, and he's kind of like, and I'm just like, oh man, he's trying so hard not to laugh right now. Like, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, the moment of bliss, I thought was really funny. I thought it was really good. Trying to think of anything else. The tag match with I thought Roman, Lashley, and Braun was a really cool team. Mm-hmm. Like that's pretty rad. I like seeing those guys team up, and I thought that Kevin, Sammy, and Jinder was a pretty cool team up too. So yeah, I enjoyed that match. That match was really fun. I thought that was pretty cool, and I liked that. Lashley comes out and helps Roman, and then Braun comes out to help them, and I like how Roman's just kind of sitting there looking at them, just like, so are we friends now? Like, like just the kind of look he was doing back and forth. Like, I liked that. That was funny, but yeah, the match itself was good. I really enjoyed it. all the stuff with Seth, even though Seth is much better as being a jerk heel, like he's really nailing this Intercontinental Championship run so far. And so I'm like I said, like just like Triple H, I'm just like, oh, I hate him. He's such a good heel. Like, I'm just like, I like him now. Like, you know, it's one of those things. And and so yeah, he's done a great job so far. You know, with that. You know, he looks great. You know, with that belt, he's really bringing a lot of. Instead of, because Miz, really made that championship. He did a good job really making that championship. And so I'm glad that they didn't just, like, throw it on somebody just because or whatever. Like, it's on Seth, and so it still feels like a big deal. It still has some prestige. I like that. And so, yeah, I thought it was really cool that, all him and Finn's interactions and stuff like that. And, yeah, you're absolutely right. Their match was awesome. Like, that was a great main event that should have been a pay-per-view main event, basically. And, yeah, I was really kind of like, what is he a bad guy now? Like, what's going on? Like, that was kind of weird, but I don't think it was like a heel turn. I think it was just kind of him doing a Randy Orton type thing where, he's just like, I'm not a bad guy, but, I'm letting you know that I'm gunning for you kind of thing. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The slingshot into Finn countering into a Falcon Arrow was awesome. That was a really, really cool spot. Like, I really, really enjoyed the match. It was awesome. So yeah, I enjoyed Monday Night Raw. It was a good time, and I liked Elias's song, "Crap It on Montreal." That was really funny.
I didn't see. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't
that,
see it?
no.
Oh, it was really good. Yeah, if they have it on, if somebody has it on YouTube, I really recommend checking it out because it was funny.
Okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Monday Night Raw. So letter grade, what would you give it?
I thought it was fine. I'm gonna give it a B plus, kind of the average grade that we usually start with and finish with. I give the main event an A, and I give Alexa an A. So yeah, B plus. What about you?
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I would totally give it a B plus. A really solid show, nothing overly spectacular to be like, whoa, dude. It just seems like another episode of Raw, but a good one. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Gets a B plus from me as well.
All right, before we go to SmackDown Live, I was checking out some news online, and TMZ is reporting. And we know what Caleb thinks about TMZ.
Yeah, don't much.
Rightfully so, but they are reporting that a huge legend is nearing a comeback to WWE.
Big Dave Batista?
No, those talks have kind of stopped and probably isn't going to happen. But it's wrestling; people lie all the time.
Yeah.
So, nope. But that's pretty big. But it's big because of now, because he's huge in the movies right now. Somebody bigger than Batista, and not The Rock and not Stone Cold. Hogan. TMZ reports they have learned plans to bring Hulk Hogan back. This is from TMZ Sports, their webpage. Plans to bring Hulk Hogan back to the squared circle are currently underway. We've learned, TMZ says, Hulk and high-ranking WWE officials have been in touch recently, and it's been positive. In fact, we're told when the WWE made plans for an event in Saudi Arabia, one of the members of the royal family specifically asked for Hulk Hogan to participate. Unfortunately, Hulk didn't go, but it triggered a dialogue between the two sides. Also, Hulk and Vince McMahon both appeared in Bill Simmons' recent Andre the Giant documentary, though not together. Of course, Hulk got the axe from WWE in 2015 after a racist N-word rant went public. Hulk apologized, and several African-American wrestlers publicly offered their support for Hogan. Now we're told the WWE wants to bring him back into the fold, and Hulk is down. Of course, he's been down for years. But everyone wants to make sure it's done the right way, quote unquote. We're told everyone wants to be sensitive to the audience that was offended by the racist rant, while showing Hulk's learned from his mistakes and is a changed man. Of course, sources say WWE was paying close attention to Hulk's speech at the Boys and Girls Club this week, in which he said he wanted to help educate kids to not use the same language he did, because they wanted to see how it was received. It went well with the crowd, which gave Hogan a loud ovation. We reached out to WWE, TMZ says, who gave us the following statement. We applaud the work of Hulk Hogan. WWE applauds the work Hulk Hogan is doing with Boys and Girls Club of America to turn what was a negative into a positive by helping young people learn from his mistakes. While he has taken many steps in the right direction since we parted ways, Hogan is not currently under contract to WWE. Caleb, thoughts?
I am more than willing to give Hulk Hogan a second chance, and I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think that he's just misguided a lot of times, and what was going on in his life at the time was really bad. It was a really rough situation. Like, that's not an excuse for what he said, but every story has context. Like, I'm not giving him excuses. What he did was wrong, but every story has context. I mean, Rock, spoke up for him and said, hey, we've all had bad days and we've all, talked trash in private, and stuff like that, so I mean, it would be wrong for me to speak out, against him because of what he was going through at the time, and, say that he should be condemned forever and forgotten about, and he goes, we should condemn his action, but we should, we shouldn't be condemning him, as a person and all this stuff, and saying, we should give him a second chance, we should, let him learn from this experience, we shouldn't just condemn him and shun him forever and stuff like that. And I mean, and as you've seen with Mel Gibson over the past couple of years, people have been like, he did his time in exile, he's learned from his mistakes, he's cleaned up his act, he's, not stayed away from the booze. So, I'm a very forgiving person, so I'm willing to, let Hulk have a clean slate and come back and stuff. And honestly, I think it would be good for the business to see, one of the biggest stars in history, if not maybe the biggest star in history, come back to his hometown, his home territory, so to speak, WWE, and have a good working relationship with them and be able to do stuff with them. And, if he has, a role in any way, if he was an on-screen personality, if he was, a manager or something like that. If it's just a Legends contract where he just, makes appearances every so often or something like that, whatever. But so yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about it. But as a whole, like I said, I think the business, I think it would be good for the business, and this is something that is a big deal. But I think that he has totally learned from his mistake. I mean, and that at the time that video came out 3 years ago, that video was already 10 years old. And so, he'd probably already grown quite a bit as a person after that video happened and stuff. So, but anyways, what about you?
Well, I don't even know what happened, quite frankly. I know that, I just know what people have reported. I wasn't into wrestling, I guess, as much as everybody else was at that time. So I don't really know the whole situation. I do know our culture is fickle when it comes to things like this. Some people, they're willing to forgive, some people they're not. But also, when other people are in the headlines like Bill Cosby for drugging and raping people, compared to someone calling someone else a bad name, or it just depends on what our culture thinks. And it seems like those who he's worked with, Boys and Girls Club, have at least forgiven him. I mean, he's working with this pretty high profile social justice, social working type club, and people have forgiven him kind of on the lower end. And like I said, he's at least not done that kind of the really horrible kind of stuff. But again, our culture is fickle. It just depends on the day. It depends on the second of the day, to be honest, if they're willing to forgive him. And I quite frankly, I don't think a whole lot of the public even remembers or knows about this.
Yeah.
Because I know I didn't until we started getting back into wrestling. Until I started getting back into wrestling, just hearing about it. I absolutely agree with you. I think it would be best for business for him to come back. In what capacity, I have no idea. And again, talking about icons, Undertaker is an institution, but Hulk Hogan is wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially for my age group, where that's the guy everybody watched when we were growing up. And when he passes, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting. I don't think it's going to be as bad, but I think it could be an interesting world without Hulk Hogan in wrestling. So I'm he's asked for forgiveness.
Yeah.
People say dumb things all the time. I know I've said uh, my piece of bad things in the past. Obviously not on air, but you know, I can change. He can change. We can all change for the better. It seems like he probably has. So, and like you said, it was
Indeed.
10 years prior to even
Yeah.
we found out. So, yeah. So that I just wanted to have that breaking news because it was kind of interesting. Thought it was something we could
I'm
talk
glad
about
you
there
did.
for a second.
Glad you did. Good discussion piece for sure, man. So cool. All right.
So we moved from that piece of breaking news-ish type stuff. I mean, it's still kind of not really breaking news. There really is no word whatsoever. WWE has said in the negative, sort of. And Hogan in the past, at least in March, said he wasn't returning to WWE anytime soon. So going from that to the other piece, second to last thing we need to talk about is SmackDown Live. Caleb, thoughts about the show?
I really liked it. Quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show. My favorite thing, the best thing, in my opinion, for the night was the opening bit, Miz TV, man. I thought, like I said, like I was just like, wow, he looks like a ninja pirate, and you brought up the Naruto thing. I was like, yeah, the headband, that's total Naruto right there. Like, yeah, like I thought it was so funny. I was like, he looks like a steampunk ninja pirate. Like, it's awesome. And it totally works for his like over the top movie star persona. Hey, look at me, And I love the way he trolled the crowd. Like I forgot what they were saying, but he's just like, I took Maurice back to Hollywood, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what they were saying.
like, yeah, I don't know what they were saying.
Funny.
Like I don't know if they were chanting something in French, or if I just couldn't understand. Like, but yeah, it was funny how he's just like, I took Maurice back to Hollywood, right? And like that was great. Get some good heat with that. Like that was awesome. But yeah, I loved everything that happened there. Him and Jeff, the way he's trying to get Jeff to talk bad about Randy Orton and he won't, and then Orton comes out and tries to get him to talk bad about Jeff, but he won't, and then he's just like, hey, yeah, we're cool. Like on Sunday we're enemies, but for right now we're cool, and stuff like that. And then I love Miz just poking and prodding him, and how it actually caught Randy off guard, and he actually laughed. Like,
yes,
that was great.
I think it was the way he said it, because I did the same thing. I laughed at the way he said whatever he said, and then to see Randy laugh, break character.
Yeah, just kind of have to pull the microphone down and stop talking mid sentence just because he started laughing. Like, that was great. And then he's just like, oh, what are you going to do, huh? You going to hug it out, huh? And then Randy just kind of like takes one step towards Jeff like he's going to hug him. And then yeah, he just kind of goes like, he kind of looks at Jeff and kind of like does the, why not? And then like kind of goes like this, like he's going to go in for a hug. And then he just goes, nah. And then he goes back. Like, it was really funny. Like, this whole segment I loved. Like, it was probably my favorite thing. Like, it was awesome. It was great. I enjoyed it. It was hilarious. Miz is on the top of his game. Like, when you get Randy Orton to break character, like, you're funny. Like, because he's a guy who, like, doesn't break character hardly ever. Like, it was great. And then, what was it, dang it, who did, it was Jeff and Randy tagged against Miz and who? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Gosh. I know, I can't remember who it was. Gosh, this is gonna bug me.
I'll try to find it. Cause since I watched it earlier, lost mojo. Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin, right? Gosh, I couldn't remember. So yeah, and then Shelton came out and stuff, but like the match I really liked. The match was pretty good. Like Randy Orton, I just can't get over how great that guy's selling is. Like he's so good, so good. Like it's kind of funny, I talked about this in the past on the podcast and just in conversation. Like the Jim Cornette episode of Talk is Jericho, where he talked about Randy. He's like Randy. He's like he's probably the best worker I've ever seen in OVW. But he was just so chill and laid back that he didn't really apply himself as much. And then Jericho's like, oh yeah, I tell him all that all the time. I'm like, dude, you're the best worker in this company, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Because you're just so chill, like, and so cool with where you're at. You know, you don't like push yourself to be the greatest. He's like, you're the best worker in this company, you don't even know it. And it's funny seeing how just flawless and natural he is, you know, in the ring and stuff like that. And so it's just like, golly, like, they're not wrong. So that was funny, and the match was great. Example of that, because it's like, gosh, it just comes natural to him. You know, it's just, you know, taking a bump or selling, you know, a move is just as easy as breathing to him, and so that whole thing was great. And then, you know, the way he hit Jeff with the RKO to be like, you know, all right, see you Sunday, we're enemies now. You know, like I like that he has that aspect to his character where he's not a full-on heel, but he just does like that, you know, Wild Wild West cowboy, like, you know, hey, if you have to shoot, don't talk. Like, it's about surviving out here, all right? You know, like, you know, we were friends during this match, but the match is over, you know. So like, you know, it's cool that he kind of has that he has that aspect to his character that like some other people, you know, wouldn't. So that's pretty cool. But so yeah, that was probably my favorite thing. Just, you know, that whole beginning Miz TV bit, and then the match was really good. I'm trying to think of other stuff that happened, man, but I'm kind of having kind of drawing a blank right now. Why don't you talk for a minute, like, because I'm kind of blanking. Sorry.
When Samoa Joe comes out and basically inserts himself into the WWE title picture, I'm super stoked to see that happen. Joe is one of the better heels on the mic, so I'm really excited about that. I mean, there really wasn't a ton of stuff. Even though Backlash is this weekend, they've not really set up a whole lot. I mean, they did, but it wasn't like earth-shattering go-home show.
Yeah.
You know, Lana backstage with.
It just felt like an exhale before Backlash. It felt just like a breath, like just like a. All right.
Because it wasn't a bad show. The main event was good with the 3-woman or the 6-woman tag
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
That was really good. Lana disrupting Rusev Day. I don't know where that's going. I hope it doesn't.
Her accent was really up and down.
Wasn't it? I wonder if they're getting ready to cancel it.
Yeah, just kind of phase it out or something.
Because they need to. Like, her talking voice is so much better, and everybody knows that she's not.
Not everybody's just like, she's not Russian. She's from Florida.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm assuming, I don't think she does her accent on the Divas show.
No, she doesn't.
Okay, so that whole thing, I don't know where they're gonna go with that. I don't want Rusev and Aiden to break up.
I know.
It'd be interesting to see like the bad blood between Rusev and Lana, but I'm interested in seeing where that goes. I liked how Rusev looked at Aiden, like he was just like, oh hey buddy, type thing. I thought that was really really fun. Big cast and the little guy portraying Daniel Bryan. I thought that was funny.
I liked that too. Like that was well done. That was some good heel heat right there.
Let's see. Xavier Woods versus Sheamus was alright. I liked that whole thing. Your soul is mine. I'm like, but he's ginger. He doesn't have a soul. That's what they should have.
Exactly.
Said.
He has gingivitis.
Yeah. But that whole thing was good. I'm glad Xavier went over on that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Cesaro and Sheamus will go over eventually.
And once again, I love when Big E gets in people's faces and starts yelling "sucker." I love that. That was so. And I love how he's just like, I wasn't talking to you, and he's just, oh, okay, and then just like takes a step back. That was brilliant. That was hilarious. It's like, there's laxatives in these pancakes, are there? Oh no, we won't do that to you. Maybe next week, but no, we're not gonna do that to you.
And the baby lotion all over his chest. It's like, come on. It's funny, but so awful at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Paige apparently kills off Absolution. We'll find out more next week. Like the Becky and I think it Mandy Rose going to be. Yeah, Mandy Rose is going to go against Becky Lynch next week, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Andrade Cien Almas is still coming soon.
Are they stuck in traffic?
They must be. They're somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe he has I know, some house show stuff for NXT to do or something.
I think so. That's probably part of it. But I can't wait. Hopefully they don't screw him up. Hopefully they find the right match up for him.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope they don't mess him up.
Yeah.
I think Zelina will carry him farther than he would by himself, but still, the wrong writer will mess his character up.
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job in NXT once they put Zelina with him to build him up. So I hope they don't screw that up. But then the last thing I can remember and the last thing I see on paper is the 6-woman tag match: Charlotte Flair, Asuka and Becky Lynch versus Carmella and the Iconics. I thought it was an okay match. I liked the one thing about Charlotte that I'm seeing is that she is doing spots that the men do, and I wonder if that's one of the things. I wonder if that's her saying I can do it too, because the over the rope plancha wasn't great, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Her moonsault was pretty good. Just there were spots she did. I was just like, you don't see those in a women's match ever, and so that just puts her a continue. Like I had her come down a peg on the best women's wrestlers, mostly because she has a hard time working with new talent. She has a hard time on the mic. Like as an overall performer, she's not great. She's not good on her mic like her dad. She's not good on her mic like Becky is good on the mic. You know, she needs some help with that.
Yeah, when she's not a heel, she really suffers on the mic because she can always fall back on making fun of the crowd or making fun of the whatever local celebrities from there. Like So yeah, when she's a face, she has a lot of trouble kind of on the mic and stuff.
She's horrible at the commentary booth. Like they need to stop putting her there. And she wasn't there this week, but they need to stop putting her there. Asuka looked really good. I like the fact. I'm glad to be quite honest, they took a burden off of her shoulders, and I feel like that's helped her in her matches lately. She lost last week. Last week she took the pin, or
Becky did.
Becky took the pin, but they lost the tag team match. She lost at WrestleMania, and so now Asuka she's not just another women wrestler. She's still highly regarded by everybody, but they've taken that weight off her shoulders that she's now. I feel like she's doing better. But yeah, Charlotte really impressed me. Becky is always good, and Carmella again. I like what she's doing. The whole I'm the champion. See, I'm the champion.
Yeah, and I love how like whenever she sees Charlotte, she's like no. Like that's funny. And like her and the Iconics played really well off each other.
Yeah.
I liked that.
I agree. Again, the Iconics aren't the greatest in the ring, but their selling and their mic skills are really good. So I don't mind them as much as some of the wrestlers who aren't good on the mic. But I'm interested in seeing, because we're going to talk about Backlash here in a minute. I'm interested in seeing how, because there are rumors that nobody will lose the title at Backlash.
Huh.
How is Carmella going to keep the title? That's what I want to know. Because I don't see it. I don't see Carmella losing to Charlotte. But we'll find out. Backlash is this Sunday. I think that was it about, because you already talked about the Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton and stuff. I really like that. Those two guys play off with each other really well, and these four guys in the U.S. title match is really good. I'm glad they're doing this with the title.
I really want to go back and watch the 2008 Royal Rumble match between Jeff and Randy, because that's a great match. So I need to go back and rewatch that.
Cool. That's all I got to say about it. Anything else about those things that you remember?
Oh, especially ditto about Samoa Joe. Yeah, like the way he came out. Like, yeah, he's just been just straight fire, man. Just A+ on the mic since he's come back. He's been doing a great job. I think it's really cool. That he just immediately was just like, yep, I'm going for that title. And like, all right, cool. Yeah, whether it's Shinsuke or whether it's AJ, I prefer AJ. Him facing AJ, like I prefer like I think it'd be really cool. I want Shinsuke to win the title. I think it'd be cool to see a heel Shinsuke as WWE champion for a little bit. But I would much rather see AJ versus Samoa Joe. So maybe he has to beat AJ to get to the title or something. I don't know. But like that's the match I want to see first and foremost. Like I think that would be so rad. So
Agreed.
all right, well, letter grade.
Yeah, it was a good show. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
All right, I think I liked it.
Yep.
Sorry, folks.
Time to take nap. Nap time.
I liked it. I think I liked Raw a little better, so I think I would just give this a B.
Sure.
High B, not a whole B plus. High B. It was very, very good, but I liked Raw a little more. But however, SmackDown does have me far more intrigued, so I will give SmackDown that for sure. So yeah,
Right on.
that's what I get. So all right, well, as we've said many times, Backlash is this Sunday. Just so many pay-per-views connected with each other. So we will do our predictions now for Backlash, the first co-branded pay-per-view after the second Grand Brand Split thing.
Yep.
Second Grand Brand Split.
If I had to guess, I would guess that the WWE Championship would be the last match.
Okay, you just want to do it backwards then?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing if they could figure. I wouldn't mind seeing Carmella and Charlotte as the last match, but
yeah.
My guess is it's going to be the WWE Championship, or it might be Nia Jax and Alexa, but I doubt it. All right, let's just do it backwards.
Okay.
All right, let me start.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. All right, the first/last match. Going backwards on Wikipedia. So the first match we got is Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, for some reason, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Not to say it's bad, just don't get it yet.
Just don't get it. Yeah.
It's a tag team match. No titles or anything on display here. Caleb, what were your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win and all that jazz?
Past couple weeks I've really liked the Strowman Lashley team up. Very weird duo that actually really works. I totally dig that. So yeah, kind of weird though. Like kind of just like, I wouldn't have thought to do that, but I'm totally cool with it. And yeah, this match is just kind of thrown together, like nothing really to it. But I am really interested to see it. It's hard for me to pick who will win. I could see, them like kicking Braun off the apron or something, and then like cheating Lashley to win or something like that. Like I think that's like I don't know. It's just tough because there really isn't a storyline, so it's kind of tough to see who had the upper hand the most and who is gonna get like. So it's just tough to pick. Like it is. And, you got these two super big jacked athletic guys, and you got these like smaller indie vets. So it's like kind of hard to to pick one. Yeah, it's just tough. So like I don't know. Like for some reason I want to say Kevin and Sami is the safe bet, and I want to say them, but I don't know. So like I guess I'll go with a soft vote for Kevin and Sami.
Okay. I'm going to say Braun and Bobby. Bobby doesn't have a character right now. He's not talked as much on the mic, and he doesn't really have a character other than he's big and bad, and it's kind of what Apollo, has been doing lately. So we will see what happens, but my guess is they'll probably Bobby or Strowman will turn on each other. I really don't know. But like you said, it's kind of thrown together. So I'm going to say Strowman and Lashley. Strowman and Lashley.
Okay. So now we have a match that nobody asked for, but we're getting anyway. Because I'm assuming they don't want to pull the trigger too soon on Miz. The returning Daniel Bryan, yay, versus the returning Big Cass, boo. Yeah, very clear good guy and bad guy in this situation. So, Jeremy, who wins and why? Who do you think should win? Blah, blah, blah. All that.
My guess is they're going to try to build Cass to be bigger than what he really is. So my thought is they'll probably put over Cass using Daniel. So he's already, Daniel's already put him over technically at the Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble, excuse me. So I'm going to say Cass wins. I don't want that to happen, but That's who I'm gonna say. What about you?
I honestly feel like Daniel Bryan. I feel like just because Cass has been the big bully and blah blah blah, and hashtag be a star, kids, and and stuff like, and then also just because everybody loves Daniel, and I feel like I don't know. I just feel like Cass wouldn't suffer that much by losing here because it's Daniel Bryan, and I feel like um, I don't know. Even though Daniel Bryan losing going into his feud with Miz wouldn't be bad. Like, I feel like giving him more momentum would be better, and especially after that great performance in the Greatest Royal Rumble. So, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be Daniel personally, but I've been wrong before, and will be wrong many more times. So, so yeah, I'm going to pick Daniel Bryan.
All right. Next match we have is Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe in kind of it's a singles match, but it's kind of a grudge match. Samoa Joe hates Roman Reigns. That's pretty much how they built it. Caleb, your thoughts?
I think that a Samoan named Joe will win.
Good bet.
Good bet. Yeah. I think Samoa Joe will win. I think this will be what's the word I'm looking for. I think a loss here will be a catalyst to just kind of spark a character change in Roman Reigns, either a heel turn or either just like make him way more hardcore and just like like, all right, Brock Lesnar doesn't want to play by the rules. Nobody wants to play by the rules. I don't have to play by the rules, and so he just like goes absolutely nuts. And just like shows up at like Paul Heyman's house, like beats him up, just like
more of that kind of stuff
just like beats him up and like leaves him like beaten within an inch of his life in his house, and then Brock comes and faces it. I feel like this should be the catalyst, the spark for something. This should be the tiny little spark that will light a raging inferno that will become Roman Reigns. Like, there needs to be some kind of character change in him, whether it's a heel turn or whether it's just making him a psycho. Just making him this like really, really hardcore guy. Like, I think that would be cool. Like, I'm really looking forward to this match. I think it'll be cool. But yeah, I think Samoa Joe needs to win, and I think Samoa Joe probably will.
I agree with most of your assessment. I do believe Samoa Joe will win, mostly because I think it's a catalyst for him to go and get the WWE Championship eventually. I don't know how they're going to end AJ versus Shinsuke. I could see Shinsuke winning and then them having to do a number one contender type thing again, but I think Samoa Joe wins, and I think this is it's a catalyst for Samoa Joe to actually be big on SmackDown. And it's also a catalyst for Roman Reigns to do something. I don't know where the storyline with him is going to go next, because they kind of swerved us, and because we all assumed over the last year that he was going to be the Universal Champion. He's not, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it just feels like both guys are going to come out of this very different.
Yes,
and that's really cool, and that's really cool. So. Well, yeah, it's my turn. I had to stop and think. All right, so now we have the trash talking, moonwalking Princess of Staten Island, Carmella versus Charlotte Flair. Woo! For the Women's SmackDown Championship. Jeremy, who wins and why?
Well, if the reports are right that no title is going to exchange, Carmella wins. I just don't know how they're going to do that. I don't see Carmella getting the best of Charlotte outside of having the Iconics or somebody like that come and help them.
Or a certain returning chinless man.
I've been waiting for that for a while, but he's too busy doing other shows. Other places.
I know he's not coming back.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Carmella just because of the report. I think Charlotte should win, but that's me. I do think, well, if the rumors are true that they're going to look at doing a women's tag team division, which they really have, with breaking up Absolution, they really haven't, well, seeming breaking up of Absolution. I don't really know yet. Putting Charlotte with Becky would be really, really cool to have them to be the first time tag team champions. I think both of those ladies deserve that right. But and have Carmella be the champion. I don't know. Carmella. What about you?
Yeah, I think Carmella will win too, and yeah, I could see the Iconics getting involved. That's actually a thought that I had, and I was like, since they're kind of buddies now, so yeah, that's what I would say. I would say yeah, because I don't see her gaining the upper hand in a clean way because she's the bad guy, and you want the bad guy to maintain heat, and you want the good guy to maintain honor. So like that's cheating to win is like the best way to do it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I could see the Iconics getting involved. That's personally what I think. So.
All right. For the Raw Women's Championship, we have Nia Jax, the champion, versus Alexa Bliss. Caleb, your thoughts?
No, Jax.
Agreed.
Don't really think I need to say much more. Like, I mean, they've done a really good job with her. Building up to their feud at Mania, and they've done a good job with her thus far. Kind of making her look like a leader amongst the women's division and stuff like that. So, done a really good job with that. And they've been with the Moment of Bliss. They've gotten even more heel heat on Alexa. So, yeah, I think Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we might even come out of this with more Moments of Bliss. I think Alexa will probably try to get more heat on Nia in a good way, stuff. So I could see more Moments of Bliss after this match. Did you see Nia Jax do this to me? I think I could see that happening. I don't know what will happen, but I can see that happening. So yeah, I say Nia Jax as well.
Okie doke. So now we move on to United States Championship match. We have Jeff Hardy versus the Viper, Randy Orton. Jeremy, who wins and why?
I want Jeff Hardy to win. Again, if everybody's right, and champions will stay champions, Jeff Hardy wins, or this is going to be some kind of disqualification or something that's going to happen. Because we still have
Shelton maybe getting involved.
Yeah, you still have Shelton, even though the Miz has a match with Seth. I can see the Miz somehow doing something. So I think either Jeff is going to win outright, or there's going to be some kind of weird thing that happens. And I think Randy. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's ever going to be a heel. I think he's just going to be for himself.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Chaotic, like chaotic good or true neutral or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like for myself, being like, I'm going to RKO anybody and everybody. Type thing. So.
Which is when he's at his best.
Yeah. That's what I think. What about you?
Right. Yeah, I think Jeff will win. I think he is tailor made for this position right now. Like I feel like he's at a good spot, and the U.S. title's at a good spot to where he needs to be the champion. And I like that Randy wants the title too, because it makes the U.S. title look prestigious and really cool too. So I love that whole aspect of it, and I think that's both of our favorite belts. So
it's one of the most beautiful,
at
least on the main roster.
It's an awesome belt, and so yeah, it's it feels like a big feud. It feels like a big deal. This belt does, and so so yeah, I think Jeff Hardy will win, and I want him to have a nice long reign. I think it'll be really cool.
Right on. Right. The second to last match we have is Seth Rollins versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Caleb, thoughts?
I think Seth will win. I think he'll keep it. I really do. However, I think Finn might try to get involved. Maybe. I'm kind of feeling 60-40 that he won't. But, 40% maybe that he will. I just don't know. Or maybe, maybe Miz Taraj will crash the party, and they'll try to help Seth, lose. They'll try to help Miz win. But I don't know. I think, there's all kinds of different variables I can see happening, but at the end of the day, I think Seth will win it. So I'm going to just say that for now.
Yep, Seth wins it. It doesn't make sense to have two of those two titles on the same.
Yeah, why would you have three titles on one show and just one on the other? Yeah,
makes no sense. So
you're absolutely right.
Seth will win.
Indeed. So, sorry, it sounded like you were gonna say more.
Nope, sorry.
And then it took me a second to register that you weren't gonna say more. Oh, funny. All right, so now we have a no DQ match for the WWE Championship. We have the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the con artist, as he's being called by AJ. So, Jeremy, thoughts?
I think AJ's going to win. It might even be with the club coming out to help him. or something of that. I do hope that they do something with a cup. Just come on,
Yeah.
it's a cup. Sorry, to steal Alexa Bliss's line. Come on, it's a cup. You sit in it. I think AJ will win, but I am absolutely looking forward to this match. No disqualification for the title. We'll see what happens. We'll see where they go from here. If Shinsuke gets even more diabolical as we go. So yeah, I'm gonna say AJ. What are your thoughts?
I honestly don't know. Yeah, like, because I can see a case being made for either.
Yep.
It kind of sucks that both Royal Rumble winners this year are came up empty-handed at WrestleMania. Like, that was kind of a bummer. Uh, but, yeah, I don't know. Like, if AJ wins via the club coming out and stuff like that, I'd be okay with that because I'd like that to be a stable again. I'd like them to bring that back. I love, kind of, bring back the whole Bullet Club adjacent thing.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. And like, so that would be cool. But at the same time, I loved the heel turn for Shinsuke, and I kind of want him to get his due, and I want him to be the champion for a while. I think that would be kind of cool to see Shinsuke be the champion and to be a full on heel while doing it, which nobody thought would happen. Like, I think that'd be really interesting to see. So that's my thoughts. I can't pick. It's my thing. But my gut is telling me that Shinsuke. I don't know though. So
All right.
soft yes for Shinsuke.
Well, as we look forward to Backlash this weekend, just a reminder of all the rest of the pay-per-views the rest of the year. June 17th, there is Money in the Bank in kind of our backyard, but more north in a different country. Yeah, I say different country because Chicago is a different country. that Chicagoland. Yeah, Rosemont, Money in the Bank. We don't have any other information about that. So we have Money in the Bank on June 17th. July 15th is Extreme Rules in Pittsburgh. August 19th is SummerSlam in Brooklyn. September 16th is Hell in a Cell in Nashville. Oh, we can make that.
Oh yeah, we could. It's only like
a couple hours.
6-7 hours. It's not that bad.
October 21st we have TLC in Boston.
Boston.
That'll be fun. That'll be a fun place to have TLC.
Yeah.
November 18th is Survivor Series in LA, so that'll be nice to go back to LA. And then December 16th is also in California, San Joe's, we would say around here, but San Jose. Clash of Champions on December 16th.
Cool. Yes. I wish they would go back to the Night of Champions thing, where every single title was on the line no matter what. And then I think it would be cool to bring up 1 or 2 NXT titles on that show.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Like, bring up the North American title and like the NXT Women's title and put them on that show.
Yeah. I agree. We also have 2 shows that we know from 2019. January 27th is the Royal Rumble. Is that really for Royal Rumble?
January what?
27th.
Oh, no, that sounds about right.
Okay, I'll have to look again. That's in Phoenix, and we have April 7th.
Oh yeah, it's at the baseball field.
Yeah. And which would be good because that'll be nice. April 7th, WrestleMania 35 at MetLife Stadium in Jersey. So that is that. Oh yeah, you're right. It's always in January. I'm done.
I thought you just meant like early in the month or something
Nope.
or something like that. So.
No, I meant like too early.
Okay.
And I'm absolutely wrong. It's always on that weekend.
It's always in January.
Going back, I'm like,
it's always the last weekend in January.
I think I'm mixing that up with something else. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it, folks.
There's the big long greatest Royal Rumble episode super show spectacular.
See.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the Greatest Royal Rumble, do yourself a favor, go back and watch it. It's a really fun show, and Backlash I'm excited for. Not like overly so, but I think it'll be a fun watch. So I'm gonna have to wait and watch it Tuesday though. I'm gonna have to wait. So I'll be on the road. So I won't be able to watch it until Tuesday morn. Tuesday morn.
You silly.
I'm dumb. Yeah, the rest of the podcast is going to be in Old English, so.
Yee.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
all I
All right, well, we will see ye later.
Peace.